If you have assets, you have a higher risk of being subject to a lawsuit. And if you face a lawsuit, insurance won't always save you, but a properly structured management company just might. Here, we'll talk about how smart investors use one to separate risk and keep their wealth protected. Here's the play. You create two companies. LLC A owns the assets, like properties or equipment, and LLC B is the management company that runs your day-to-day operations. The goal? To keep the liability in one bucket and the money in another. Now, why does this work? Well, when something goes wrong, say a tenant slips and falls or a contractor sues, they could sue the management company if they're listed on the lease. But guess what? The management company doesn't own the assets. So even if they only sue the management company and win in court, there's not much to take. It's like having a firewall between your operations and your wealth. And the best part, it's 100% legal when done right. Imagine you own 10 rental properties. Instead of collecting rent and hiring contractors from the LLC that owns the real estate, you do it through a management company. The management company gets a fee and you deduct the expenses. You also have it taxed as an S-corp, where you pay yourself a salary. And if done right, it's clean, it's smart, and it keeps the liability where it belongs, away from your assets. But you'll also need to be aware of a few things. But before I discuss them, let's get to this week's Q&A. So for last week's question, the question I asked is, what is the annual increase of new registrations in Texas? The answer is 20%, which is proof that Texas is a growing state. And for this week's question, the question I have for you is, how much revenue do property management companies generate on an annual basis? I'll give you the answer in next week's video, but go ahead and leave a comment letting me know what you think the answer is. Now let's get back to the things that you must be aware of. These are some important legal tips that you need to keep in mind. Here's the deal. You can't just slap two LLCs together and call it a strategy. There are a few things that you'll need to be aware of before forming a property management company. There needs to be real contracts between the two companies. And between the two companies, you'll also need to set up separate bank accounts for each company. You must have arm's length pricing between the two companies, which is what you'd pay if it were a third party. Otherwise, a judge can call it a sham and pierce the veil. If you use the property management company to manage other people's assets, you'll need to have a real estate license, so be really careful here. Now, it may not be best for your specific situation, especially if you have rental properties in multiple states. However, it could be right for you, and if you want to reduce your risk here, and you need guidance with the structure, my team at Corporate Direct would be happy to assist. You can schedule a free 15-minute consultation by clicking the link in the description below. And if you're building real wealth and want to protect it, hit that subscribe button. This is just the beginning. And don't forget to leave a comment while you're at it too.